Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at this Mount Pro monitor arm that was sent to me. This is specifically the PR2025B, and I'm going to be unpacking it, setting it up, and giving you my thoughts as to whether or not it's worth the 30 or so bucks it cost over on Amazon, and how well it actually holds up to the claims of what sorts of monitors it supports. As always, chapters to each topic are listed below. And before I get too far into things, a quick disclaimer. This product was sent to me free of charge by the manufacturer in exchange for doing this video on it. However, they're not seeing the video prior to release, nor do they have any editorial input on anything I say here. And before I get into the basics and then the unboxing and all that, I just want to quickly explain what the point of a monitor arm is. So, as many of you know, the default stands that come with your monitors, they're quite bulky, they're taking up a lot of space on your desk. This is the stand for the 32-inch monitor that I'm going to be using for this video, and you can see it is quite bulky. Now here is the Mount Pro monitor arm that is going to be able to support that exact same monitor, but with a substantially smaller footprint. So heading over to the Amazon listing, this thing is available either in black or white. For the pricing, it's frequently around 30 bucks after coupons. And the white variant does have a $2 premium currently, making it 32 bucks. As for monitor support, this is listed to support monitors between 13 to 32 inches, that weigh between 4.4 to 22 pounds. And of course, the monitor does need to have either a 75 by 75 or 100 by 100 millimeter Vesa mount pattern on the back. And as for how much movement this arm gives you, you can position the monitor arm to a maximum height of 23.6 inches alongside a maximum extension of 20.3 inches. It can swivel 90 degrees left to right. Tilt-wise, it can move up to 70 degrees upwards or as far as minus 45 degrees down. It has the ability to rotate 360 degrees. And what all of that means is that you are able to position your monitor exactly as you want when using this mount. And now heading over to the unboxing, my audio messed up with the initial recording, so I'm doing this in voiceover. You've got the manual up first, and there's a note there that there is parts underneath the cardboard shell, so make sure to take that out to get all the parts out of the box. Now what you see me opening here is the Vesa mount. This is what's actually going to screw onto the back of your monitor, and that is what's going to enable you to connect the monitor to the monitor arm. So it is important that you install that in the correct orientation, which I will demonstrate later on in the video. Now this that I have in my hands is the upper portion of the monitor arm. That is what is going to directly attach the arm to the Vesa mount on the back of the monitor. There's a screw on top there, and the way it works is you would slide that Vesa mount, which would be attached to your monitor, onto that part of the arm, and you'd put that screw back in to secure it in place. And this is the lower portion of the monitor arm, so that it'll attach to the upper portion and then to the pole that attaches to the desk mount. The plastic bit in my hands there is part of the cable management solution that will attach directly to the bottom of the upper part of the monitor arm. And then below that there, that metal piece is the lower portion of the desk clamp. That'll be the part that goes under your desk. Now heading over to the plastic bags over at the right side here. This first one has the cable management bit that will go around the pole itself. That's what you see in my hands right now. Then there is a cosmetic piece in there to cover some of the screws on the desk mount. And that last ring right there, that is just to help support the lower portion of the monitor arm on the pole. Now this metal piece here, this is the upper portion of the desk mount clamp, and it has some rubber in there as well, so definitely recommend you put those rubber feet on it just to make sure that when that's putting pressure down on your desk, it's not causing some damage. And then there's two screw bags. One of them is for mounting the Vesa mount, and the other is that smaller bag right there, has the tools and the only screws you actually need for assembling the mount itself. And there, of course, is the pole, and it has 3 screws that are in the bottom of it, which you'll need to take out right away in the setup process. And the first thing I did is I took the 3 screws out of the bottom of the pole, and to do that, It's pretty self-explanatory. You will just need the smallest of the 3 Allen wrenches that are in the bag there. So just go ahead and take all 3 of those out and set them to the side. Now, once you have that done, go ahead and grab the rubber feet and put those on the bottom of the upper portion of the desk mount. It'll be on the same side that has the label that says Made in China. So just get those 3 on there, one on each side that is elevated. And once that's done, you're going to go ahead and connect the upper portion of the desk mount to the pole. So just go ahead and get those lined up. The screws are going to be going through the same side you just put those rubber feet on, the same side that has the Made in China label. Get one of them threaded, and then lining up the other 2 will be quite easy. And I'll be back on the camera here in just a moment. We're just getting that first one threaded in. And I just went in and did them by hand at first, and then afterwards I went in with the Allen key and tightened them up. Okay, and I am re-recording this part of the setup the following day with some better lighting. I do apologize for that poor lighting before. Now for this, you're going to now be attaching the first part you set up, which is the pole and the top part of the desk mount. You're going to be attaching that to the lower part of the desk mount. If you're going with the clamp installation, if you're doing the grommet one, follow what they say in the manual. And for this, you're going to need the 2 silver bolts that were in the same bag that the 3 Allen wrenches were in. And the way that these are going to go in is it's going to hook up right there to the bottom of the top part of the mount, and those screws are going to pass through the bottom part here and then screw into the top part. So you just got to line those up, and again, to make my life easier, I'm going to be using a screwdriver to do that. So let me just get this all lined up here. And once you have one side in, it's much easier to get the other done. And once that part is done, you'll see the 2 screws are in the bottom here, and then you have the 3 screws that are connecting the pole. They're all on the same side. Now, there is a plastic piece in here. This is entirely cosmetic. This will just, here's what it looks like. This just slides in over the top of the pole, and what that'll do is just cover some of the screw holes. So get that out of the way. Now, I am going to deviate from their instructions a bit and just do things out of order. But the next thing I want to do is get the fixator put on the pole. The fixator here is this piece. And what this does is when you do put the arm on it later on, this is going to just provide some support. So if you want the arm to be at a higher elevation, you can use this to help lock it into that position. Now this is going to use the middle of the 3 hex keys, and you just tighten it wherever you want it. So I'm going to put it a little bit lower. And then just tighten it. And the other thing you can do at this point too is also just put the cable clip on. This goes on quite easily. And once you're done with this entire setup, there is another purpose to this cable clip. It actually has holes in it to store the Allen keys. So once you're done with this, if you want to put those in a safe spot, that cable clip is perfect for that. So you don't lose them, and if you ever need to do any tuning to the tensioning on this, they're right there on the mount for you to grab. Now, just to get this out of the way, I am going to put this on the desk next, and I again am going to be doing this in the clamp method. So I'm just going to go under the desk here and tighten it up. Once that's done, if you grab the arm when you start, or grab the pole when you start to move it around, it should be moving your desk. You shouldn't be able to move the mount itself around. So that is securely connected, and I can move on to the next part. Now for the next two pieces here, the two parts of the actual monitor arm that connect to that pole, there is cable routing built into them for cable management. For the top portion, there's this plastic bit in the box that just snaps into place. That's pretty easy, and if you need to adjust things later on, you just snap it out, and it's pretty simple. However, for the bottom part, it is not something I'm a big fan of. You are going to need to take this cable part out by two screws here. So this is definitely something you'd want to have managed prior to actually putting this onto the pole there, but definitely before having the monitor itself on, because this would be a bit annoying to need to go through and unscrew once it's actually on the pole there. So the cables would just route through there, and then this bit with the two screws goes over on top and screws into place. Again, just has something you have to think ahead about. Okay, now for actually installing the monitor arm, I'm going to put the bottom part on first. The bigger hole is going to attach to the pole here. And if you want to securely lock that down, there is a screw there that you can tighten. But for right now, I'm going to just let that be a bit loose. And then for the top part, that just slides into place. And you can see the height on that's pretty good. If you want, you can tighten this down. So if you want to just make sure the two parts of the arm are a bit more secure, you can go ahead and tighten that. But just beware, if you tighten it too much, it's going to make it really hard to turn the top portion. Now, when it comes to tensioning, I'm actually going to take this back off to show you now. To reduce the tension, just turn it clockwise, and if you need to increase tension, turn it counterclockwise. And then up on top here, for the bit that's actually going to connect to the Vesa mount on the monitor, it's the other way. So if you need to increase the tension here, you'll turn it clockwise, and if you need to decrease the tension, you turn it counterclockwise. Now, the point of this is just to make sure your monitor doesn't immediately lean down. So if you have a heavier monitor, you'll definitely want to increase the tension. Now, next up, I'm going to put the Vesa mount on my monitor. If your monitor comes with screws in the Vesa holes there, then make sure to use those. For mine, I don't have screws, so I'm going to use the included ones, and I do have some spacers and washers as needed. Now, with the Vesa mounting plate, you want to make sure that this tab that is sticking out is on the top side of your monitor. The reason that matters is because when this mounts to the arm, it is going to slide into it, and then you're going to screw them together with this thumb screw here. So very important that you have the orientation right there. Again, the top bit here that sticks out needs to be on the top side of your monitor. Now, keep in mind that every monitor is going to be different, and in my case here with this monitor, there is a protrusion in the plastic casing of the housing of the monitor, so I do need to use some spacers here. There are plenty of spacers included in the packaging here, so you should have enough for whatever your use case is. So I've got those spacers placed. Now I'm going to put the Vesa mount on top. I've got some of the smaller screws that are included in the box, and I do have washers on them. And I'm just going to hand thread a few of them here just to get them started. And of course, when you're doing this, have your monitor on something soft like a towel, a blanket, just something. Don't set it right on the desk like I'm doing here. I'm doing it because this monitor is a dead monitor. I'm just using it because it is a heavier 32-inch monitor, so it's a good demonstration to see if this mount is actually capable of supporting what it says it can. And because it's broken, I don't really care about the screen getting damaged because it's already broke. It got kicked in shipping, which is fun. Okay. So that is attached. Let me just double check. You don't need to go super, super tight here, but just make sure everything is secured. And at this stage, something else I like to do is grab the top part of the monitor arm and just do a little test fit here. I can also go in and just get some tensioning adjustments done at this stage. So let me do that here quick. So that when I actually put this on the arm in a few minutes, it isn't just going to fall down. And you can put the screw on for this part as well if you want, but I just do a little test lift just to make sure that the monitor is not going to fall right down. Again, have something soft under the monitor in case it did fall. Okay, now for this part, I have the upper part of the monitor arm back on the pole, and I've got the tension on it set really low, so it's going to stay low for right now. And just to make this easier for you guys to see, so I'm just sliding the Vesa mount on the monitor onto the part it attaches to on that monitor arm. I've lifted it up, so it is now secured, and now you just got screwed in place. And once that's secured, the next part is to just go in and start adjusting the tension. In this case, because I had loosened it so much, I need to go in and tighten it quite a bit. And again, the reason for this is because when I actually lift the monitor back up here in a moment, I want it to actually stay up. You'll probably need to do adjustments here for a few minutes. But I'd recommend when you're starting out the adjustments, if you have the arm tension really low so that the monitor can just sit on your, like the bottom of the monitor can sit on the desk, that would be wise, just so you don't accidentally have the monitor slam into the desk. And there it is attached with a 32-inch mini LED monitor on it. Again, this is a broken monitor, so I can't turn it on, but it is holding up the weight perfectly fine. I can go out and adjust it as needed. I can lift it up. I can turn it and hit my light at the same time. It's handling this perfectly fine, so if you're looking for a monitor arm that can handle larger monitors, this one seems to be perfectly capable of doing so, and at a very affordable price. And to wrap things up, I do feel that the Mount Pro single monitor arm has done a great job here. The monitor I used to test it is an InnoCN32M2V, a 32-inch mini LED panel that weighs around 14.2 pounds. It handled that 32-inch monitor with ease once I adjusted the tension. Even when using the monitor at the highest height possible in a vertical orientation, it did not budge. The only downside I found is the cable management on the lower portion of the monitor arm, which could be an issue if you were to have the arm near the bottom of the pole, so just make sure to plan ahead and have those cables routed prior to putting the monitor on. But aside from that one issue, I'm happy with the rest of the product. It does what it's meant to do perfectly fine. It does include some extra screws and spacers in the box, and most importantly, it is affordable at right around 30 bucks. So if you have a monitor that supports a Vesa mount and you have a desk that you could hook this up to, I think it's a great way for you to improve your setup and, as you can see on those pictures, regain a substantial amount of desk space. But that's all I have for you guys today. If you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to drop them down below. And as always, thank you to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. See you guys around.